welcome to a new episode of the Rebel Radio Podcast, all found at the rebelradiopodcast.com. And for those who ask, on all apps as well, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. It's all there for your listening pleasure. Not necessarily your viewing pleasure, because, that would be weird. I don't know.
We're not video that kind of podcast.
Well, video podcasts are like a popular thing now, and people have asked me like, "Hey man, you should put out the video version." I'm like, "Yeah, man," but sometimes we get up and we have kids, or or we pick our nose or whatever, and I don't really want to mess with that kind of video editing and
wives walking in the background with
Yeah. Sometimes Matt's wife walks by in her thong or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. And then Law gets really excited on camera, and he acts like a jackrabbit. And,
you excited? Oh, don't be acting all innocent.
And honestly, the real answer to that is processing video and editing is a pain in the fucking ass. So fuck that. But yet you can't listen to us on YouTube, so we're still there. But how are you fellas, man? Hey, I was hanging on by a thread last night, so that's why we didn't record last night. But I have been fighting a wonderful stomach virus all week, and spending lots of time on the porcelain throne, which has not always been so much fun this week. But I'm making it. Here I am, doing my thing.
Good.
That episode of chlamydia, huh?
Oh damn! The clap.
I mean, it's clapping out my ass cheeks, that's for sure.
It's clapping all right.
I mean, hey, you walked into that one long. But yeah, man, it's God. Why are they the worst, man? It's like you can get it. And this may sound wild. I hate getting bad congestion, man, but it's almost better because, man, stomach virus is just feel like Mike Tyson punched you in the fucking stomach and you're just out for a couple of days, man. It's like it just weakens your body so much.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was saying, it's like, why would you risk going to work and risk having like anal drippage going down your leg while you're trying to work and shit? Spreading that stuff all around.
Hey, man. I stuck some papers up in my brown eye. All right, don't worry.
It's like, what's this? What are these chocolate droplets going all around the trail there?
Gross.
Okay, all right, I'll stop.
That's why you got butt plugs.
We just lost some viewers.
Yep.
Yeah, our 41 viewers are down to 40.
I got a new viewer from work. Shout out to Sean. Sean, one of my new forklift drivers, he's been listening to us the last couple of weeks.
Now he's like going to tell all his other coworkers, man, Matt, fuck those guys you work with. You
talk about anal drippage, dude. It's like, he's like, it's like that moment in Step Brothers. Everything's fucked up now.
Someone drinking hot cocoa and have a leaky cup.
Someone's leaking coffee over here.
It's like that scene in Austin Power. This coffee smells like shit. That's because it is shit, Austin.
It is shit. Well, it's not just me.
Oh, man. All right. Now we completely derailed this episode. Going from how I feel to how y'all feel. Hopefully much better than my leakage problems.
Yeah, just allergies over here. Of course, the weather is changing and pollen is flowing everywhere.
This old man weather podcast.
Yep, it's going to be a low of 44 and a high of 62 in the Northwest. But no, everything's good. Had some time off this week, relaxed. It's been a cool little week. Took the kids, go see a movie and talk about it, and watch some stuff at home. It's been fun.
Pretty chill on my end.
Pretty chill. Long, you a chill dude, man.
Yeah,
you all about the chill.
Long's chill.
Been trying to avoid the news though the past couple of days, but it just, yeah. A lot of people are scared and nervous out there. So
Yeah, but man, there's been some cool trailers coming out.
Yeah.
We got this today, in fact, our first look at Tron Ares. Is that how you say it?
I thought it was Aries.
Ares.
Yeah.
I was stoked when I saw the trailer today and found out that Nine Inch Nails is making the music for it. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I love me some Nine Inch Nails, one of my probably top 5 favorite bands of all time. And, I know Trent Reznor has been doing a lot of film music the last several years. In fact, winning a couple of Oscars for Pixar's Soul, which is an amazing score, and of course, The Social Network. But this looks like it's going to be a full-on Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. And you think about it, man. The original Tron had a techno soundtrack. I don't know who did it. And then, of course, the most famous techno band of all time, Daft Punk, did the music for Tron Legacy. So it almost feels like Nine Inch Nails is a perfect follow-up to that as an industrial techno band to do the music. And it just feels like a perfect fit. And I thought the trailer looked really cool, man. I like the idea of the digital world coming to the real world, because it's like, where else do you go from Tron Legacy? And if you remember right, people may not remember because it's been 15 years since Tron Legacy came out, but they hinted at that. Clue hints at that in the film as the digital world taking over the real world. Remember, it's hinted at in that film.
Yeah.
And so we're getting that in this one, and I thought it looked fantastic just from the minute and a half teaser trailer.
in the form of TikTok. No, I'm joking.
In the form of TikTok. Damn.
Did you guys check the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it. It looks very intriguing. Let's just hope Jared Leto's not as obnoxious in this film as
Well, and I like the fact that they didn't show, like, give him a title card with his name. They just let the trailer be. I felt like his status quo at this point, I feel, needs to be that, because he hasn't exactly been super marketable lately. So I think let this movie breathe on its own through the use of the name Tron. And is Jeff Bridges back for this? I know his voiceover is in the trailer.
Yeah, I heard his voice, but I
never saw any confirmation, and it could be one of those things where we're keeping it secret. I didn't see him listed on the IMDb page, so maybe he is back and they just haven't officially said yet. But excited for that one, man. Got to wait till October for it, so a bit of a ways off. But that'll be here before we know it. We have plenty of films coming out before then. By the time y'all hear this next week, or by the time we record our next episode, we will have a new trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, as that trailer will hit on Monday, the same day that you get this episode. So that'll be exciting, because I love that franchise. And Cinecon went on this weekend. So apparently lots of stuff has come out from this. Apparently there was footage shown from Fantastic Four, from Thunderbolts, from Jurassic World Rebirth, numerous films. The only thing that's been released so far is James Gunn decided to go ahead and release an extended trailer with a extended clip at the beginning of it from his Superman film. And not only that, he also teased that the next trailer is in the editing room right now, and we will have it soon. Don't know what soon means, but probably within the next few weeks, I would imagine, with the film coming out in July. But I sat and watched this 5-minute clip, and I thought it was kind of cool. I was really curious how they're going to use crypto. And from what James Gunn has said, by all intents and purposes, that crypto is only in the film very briefly. So I imagine he must not be in it a whole lot more than what we've seen in the trailer. And if you use it for how you did, I think that's a good way just to give a little bit of comic relief to the film. I thought it was a cool scene, seeing Superman get healed by the sun. I kind of like the comic book elements of using the Kryptonian robots to help Superman out, which is very, very Silver Age thing to bring into the film world, and something we haven't seen on film before in Superman. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I've seen a lot of people complaining online saying that, why is Superman crying? And and the typical response is, well, if you have broken ribs and things like that, it probably hurts for him to heal. Even Wolverine kind of cries out when he heals a little bit. So I think that's a silly thing to say.
I've also seen, because I joined that Restore the Snyderverse group a long time ago just to see what they're bitching about. So they made a list, Mark. They have made a list
Lord.
of grievances that this trailer has given them. And so here's the list. How does Superman whistle with such power despite damage to his lungs? Why did the fortress grow when approached? If arriving at the door, it does not open until it knows who is there. Why is it hidden? What's the point? Why did the robots call him Superman and not Kal-El? Why does the yellow sun hurt him? Why is the costume still baggy after this? I guess they redid the costume supposedly. And then 6, finally, why does Robot 4 say we will not appreciate? We have no consciousness, yet Robot 2 was flattered for being looked at.
And all questions that could be answered with context. That's silly.
Do you subscribe to that, Matt? Sounds like you are.
I'm here for the
credence to that.
I'm here for the show because and I almost thought this was you, Mark, because someone named Mark replied, "Who cares? It's not real. Just enjoy it." And I'm like, that's something Mark would say. Mark would say this.
Basically, go touch grass, people.
Yeah, dude.
Go touch grass.
You have no joy. Just enjoy it,
Exactly.
And my son, we saw this trailer on the screen because we went to go see Minecraft with his brothers. And,
I heard, are they showing the 5-minute trailer? That's what I've heard.
Yes, that and the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer as well. That looked good. Scarlett Johansson looks good. It looks solid.
When does she not look good? I mean, come on.
Yeah, she's still got it, baby. So you got ScarJo, and she plays like ScarJo. She plays a mercenary who's supposed to get a scientist in and out of the original Jurassic Park to collect DNA samples, so that I guess they can rebirth these monsters. But yeah, she looks good in the film, and it looks good, looks solid. I like it. I think it could be a return to form for Jurassic Park. I like Dominion, but I think this is more of a classic approach to Jurassic Park, like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, where they kind of kept it based and a little vanilla and grew off of that.
Pretty soon they might as well just call it Dinotopia.
I'm wondering when they're going to do the storyline where they just start dying off, and they, because in the last book they die off, they go away.
Mark, you remember those book series in the late '90s, Dinotopia?
Yeah,
Barnes & Noble. Yeah, it was like a collection of illustrations of people coexisting with dinosaurs in like a fantasy setting.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
Well, but Matt, nobody wants to see the dinosaurs die. You go to the movies to see the monsters eat fucking humans. Come on, man.
This is true.
Dude, it's like
we do. We want to see them kill people.
Yeah.
We like the horror movie aspect of it.
That's it. That's why, I mean, dude, we don't go. It's just like you don't go to Godzilla or King Kong film for the fucking humans. You go for the creature, for the monsters.
Yes.
Now there are exceptions to that rule, like -1 was a human story as well. But generally, we go to see what the monsters are going to fuck up. And that's what we go to the Jurassic films for.
Yeah.
That's I don't give a shit what Star Killer does in the fucking movies. I just want to see the dinosaurs eat shit, man. Now if they eat Scarlet, I'm going to be upset. I'd be sad.
I would too. ScarJo's your meat and potatoes, dude.
That's right.
Your bread and butter. Yeah, ScarJo.
But yeah. But man, these Superman haters, just wait till the movie comes out, and
exactly have a legitimate complaint after the movie comes out.
It blows my mind. I texted y'all, and I guess I'm a little naive sometimes as to how many AI bot programs are out there now. To long said something, and I did a quick little research of it, and it's crazy how much there is, especially on Twitter, and it seems like worse since it was bought out by Musk's company, apparently, because he's letting people have freedom of speech or whatever he wants, whatever you want to call it on there. I'm not going to get into the political side of that aspect, but it just seems like it's gotten worse since he's taken over, and maybe that is some of it. But then there's some that legitimately hate, and still people really believe that Warner Brothers is going to flip the script and bring back the Snyderverse. And it's like, that's give up on it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have seen the dark side and things that they had planned too, but I've also accepted that it's time to move on now. It's time to move forward.
Yeah.
And see what the new brings. And
I went into my comment on the Superman, and I was like, oh, cool. And it's like, oh, it's good to have a movie that's like hopeful, in very depressing times.
Yes.
And then this commenter says, like, that's so cheesy and stupid. Why would you want it? It's like, he was just like berating me. He's like, that's stupid and corny. Why would you want something hopeful, and all that? And I said,
Wow.
and all I said to him was, you sound like the type of person that eats water with their cereal. And then that's all I said. And then the guy's like, what? It's like, what kind of a comment is that? It's like, and then I wrote, that's not a denial, is it? And the commenter cursed me out, and he got banned from that thread.
Nice.
I mean, no,
I didn't have to call names. I just like, oh, you sound like the kind of person who eats water with their cereal, huh?
And apparently the test screening that took place, and James Gunn's own word, that's what the movie is. It's a very hopeful movie, and that's what Superman should be. He should give you hope. That's what Christopher Reeve did in 1978. He brought people hope, and that's what this. And I think the more I read from Gunn and things, I think he gets exactly that aspect of it, and I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to see it. With that, I'm not going to skip this because I know if I do, Long will call me out on it. But yes, Long, we got a trailer for your much anticipated Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson.
Yes.
I know it's supposed to be stupid, but I just think it looks stupid, and it's a pass for me. But you guys can go enjoy it. Y'all can even hold hands together.
First trailer. It's the first trailer, man.
Well, what if it was written by Kevin Smith?
So,
are you still going to pass on it?
Probably.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't write that kind of comedy, though.
Yeah.
He writes. He hasn't
written anything relevant since Clerks 2. Honestly, if we're going to be brutal about it, like Red State, no one cares about that movie. Walrus, no one cared about that movie. Clerks 3 was.
Dude, I watched Yoga Hosers.
Oh, that's bad.
It was streaming, and I was like, there's a monster that goes up people's butts. That's
even
guy?
Kevin has said that. He goes, yeah, it was kind of. He said, man, I was smoking a lot of guys. He wasn't healthy at the time.
I could tell. Yeah. But
isn't that Johnny Depp's daughter's film debut?
Johnny Depp's daughter, and then his daughter, she got something back there.
She's all right.
Not the face. I'm talking about the assets.
Matt lusting over people's daughters. No.
I've done it before, baby.
That was the baby in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, man. Come on, you perv.
She ain't one anymore. That's for damn sure.
Well, one more thing. I guess we should get into that.
But
Tron Ares, we already talked about that. We already talked about all the major trailers that came out. So yeah. Let's Mac go first.
Well, no, hold up. We cannot skip over.
There's more.
We cannot skip over the passing of Val Kilmer. We lost Val Kilmer this week, man. He'd been battling throat cancer. It looks like he got pneumonia. 65 years old, man. Screen legend, no doubt. I mean, played Batman and Batman Forever.
Nice man.
Was unfortunately known to be a little tough to work with the studio, and that's why he did not come back for Batman and Robin, which is probably okay. He wanted more money because Batman Forever made a good amount of money, and he wanted more money, and Warner Bros. Was like, no, we're not going to up your salary, which is kind of the same reason Michael Keaton did not come back, and Tim Burton did not come back for a third one. Batman and Batman Returns made a lot of money for Burton and for the studio. And Burton and Keaton wanted raises to come back for the third one. And Warner Brothers said, no, we'll move on. And they hired Schumacher and Kilmer, and that made money. And Schumacher didn't care at that point in his career. He said he came back for another one, but Kilmer wanted more money, and the rest is history. But of course, his breakout role was as Iceman in Top Gun. He had done a couple of comedies before then, and Tom Cruise brought him on for Top Gun, and they did that film together. And #1 grossing film of 1984, and of course, the rest is history. And then his final film role was in Top Gun Maverick, which he initially turned down. And he told Tom, he's like, man, I don't want to do it. And Tom flew out to see him personally and said, hey, we're not going to make, I'm not going to do anything that's going to make you look, look bad on screen, because I'm aware of your what do you call it, your condition. Yeah. And Tom brought him on, and of course it was a fantastic little moment in the film. And, and he lost that battle, man. And, of course, for me, his iconic role for me is Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
Oh yeah,
I think that's always going to be his iconic role for me. I mean, just such a fantastic performance as Doc. I mean, he steals the show amongst an amazing cast. I mean, you're talking Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott and Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton. Just overall fantastic. Powers Booth. Thomas Hayden Church,
Stephen Lang.
Yeah. Stephen Lang. Yeah. I mean, just a fantastic cast. And but here's Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, and just completely steals the show.
Michael Biehn.
Yeah,
we said it. Yeah. Dude, that scene is iconic.
Oh, yeah.
I first saw Val Kilmer
I was just kidding.
in the movie Top Secret. That's how I was introduced to Val Kilmer. To me, still one of his greatest roles.
Yeah.
And
made by the same makers of Naked Gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the plug, baby.
Yeah, baby.
But
Val Kilmer.
But yeah, man, he'll be missed, man. And a really good underrated film that's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr.
I heard that was a good movie.
That's a really good film too. It kind of went under the radar. People didn't see that movie, but it's a really good film. But yeah, man, Val Kilmer, screen legend, man. He'll be missed. And but what a legacy he left on the screen. And had to make sure we mentioned we've covered Willow, Heat, Top Gun, Batman Forever.
He gave nipples
Tombstone.
to Batman.
So we've covered at least five of his films I can think of. There might be one we covered that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So Val Kilmer's definitely been covered on the Rebel Radio podcast.
Y'all should have done Top Secret as a tribute.
And
or The Saint.
But the Saint's okay. It's one of those TV
Ghost in the Darkness. Did we do Ghost in the Darkness?
We haven't done the Ghost in the Darkness. We've talked about it. We've never done it. And
that's a very interesting movie.
The Saint is though one of those movies that was made after studios were buying up 70s TV products and trying to make films out of them. Mm-hmm. And it's okay,
Roger Moore had his start on the original Saints.
Yeah. I just remember seeing the Saint in theaters, and the fire alarms went off and all the lights came on. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, you need to evacuate the theater. And we go and we stand outside, and it's really cold for like 10 minutes. They let us back in. And then they were like, well, all the projectors restarted. We're not sure we're going to start the movie over. And we're like an hour and 10 minutes into this movie. I'm like, no. So they offered us free passes to come back instead. So I think I ended up watching The Saint on home video later instead of going back to the theater to see it. So yeah, gotcha. That was my Saint experience. So yeah, let's get into some things we might have watched or checked out this week. I'll start real quick since I'm already talking, because I didn't really watch much this week. But since I've been sick and just haven't really felt good. But I did watch the first episode on Netflix of the documentary Surviving Black Hawk Down. I've heard really good things about this. I had put in my queue, and I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. So I sat down and watched the first episode, and it tells the stories from some of the real men that were in it, from their perspectives and of what happened. And it does a really good job of. One thing I really like about it is it doesn't feel overly pro-American. Like, they tell a lot of the Somalian side too in this. So I feel like it's definitely patriotic. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely an American filmmaker, but I feel like it does a really good job of telling both sides of what was going on, painting the picture of what was going on in Somalia and why they were upset with us being there and why we were there. And even, the soldiers, it's remarkable. You realize how much little information the soldiers actually have. They're just told to go do this. They're like machines. They don't realize like, oh, we're being shot at. Wait, they don't want us here. They don't even know this, because they're not told that there's, anti-American Commander ID'd soldiers out there shooting at them. They thought that they wanted them to be there. So some interesting aspects that Ridley Scott's movie doesn't touch on. Of course, it is produced by Ridley Scott Studio. It's called Surviving Black Hawk Down. It's a documentary on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it's only 3 episodes, and I watched the first one, and but really good, man. It's a really well done documentary. It's well paced, good stories. And I was in high school when that happened, so I remember turning on the TV and seeing the soldiers being carried away and all that. And I absolutely love the Ridley Scott film. It's it's one of my favorite modern war films. I think it's the best modern war film made, honestly. And so I was real curious about the documentary, and really good so far. That's about all I really checked out this week, other than playing a few video games and watching some baseball since the Astros season kicked off. So you checked out the first episode at least too, Matt?
No. I saw it, and I was like, oh, I should check that out. But no, that's cool that they, that they touch on that, and you kind of get the broader scope, because soldiers are, they're just giving orders, right?
Well,
they don't get all the details.
And it's crazy because they're talking to some Somalian warriors. I don't know if you can call them soldiers, because these were kind of guns for hires, mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess these filmmakers, I guarantee even 30 plus years later, they probably guaranteed that they would be safe if they talked on film, that they weren't going to be arrested for war crimes or anything like that. So there's one guy straight up admits, he goes, yeah, I shot American soldiers. Fuck them, man. I will hate them for the rest of my life. And so it's curious to see that aspect of it, because something we don't always see. We always see things very much from American standpoint, and so I thought that was interesting. Just gives you a different perspective that these were people too in another country with their own problems, and if anyone remembers that, the media questioned why we were there. Why were we getting involved in the Civil War? Oh, because people were starving. Yes, that sucks. It sucks that kids were starving and stuff. But was it our business, really? It was us trying to be the world police. And of course, as we all know the history of it, a couple of years later, Bill Clinton realized, we got to pull out. He pulled everyone out because it wasn't doing any good.
Yeah.
And let them fight their own Civil War, which is, just unfortunately the way the world works. Sometimes you have to let people fight their own battles, which is why was Israel, who's in constant civil war, and they're asking for help, but no one wants to help them because, look, it's your own problems, So, and that's really similar, different but similar what happened back in 1993. But a good documentary, highly recommend it.
Nice. Other than that, like I said, I did check out Yoga Hosers.
I'm sorry.
It's it's kind of ridiculous. It's a ridiculous
bad,
film, especially like Ralph Garman at the end. He's
regardless
crazy.
with long things, I don't lick Kevin Smith's ass, dude. Yoga Hoser sucks, man. I will admit it sucks. I found it for $3 on clearance, and I still didn't buy a copy of it because it's that bad.
Damn. Yep. Definitely a film that I will never get my time back after watching.
Really? It was that bad, huh?
I'll never get it back.
Of all the bad movies you've seen, that was that bad.
I don't think it's time waster. I mean, it's got
not a time waster. Yeah, it's got moments, but it's like, you could definitely go without seeing it and, be well off.
Well, as a Kevin Smith completist, you should maybe watch it once, but but if you don't watch it, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We did watch the second Den of Thieves. It's definitely not as good as the first one. I feel like they just, kind of threw this together to have a sequel in a film market time frame that didn't have a whole lot going on. Obviously January, February, there's not a whole lot going on in the, as far as cinema, especially this year. And they threw that up, that in the theaters. And, Gerard Butler is Gerard Butler, but he's, it's the story, the script. It's, they're stealing diamonds in France. I don't know. I just don't think it works as well as the way they did it in the first one. The first one was pretty intriguing and suspenseful. This one, they try and throw some other stuff in there, like some romance, some stuff like that. Gerard's funny though. He has some funny moments in the film, so it's all right. But I think that's another film you probably shouldn't waste your time on unless you've got nothing else. I did watch the latest episode of Daredevil as well. He's, he finally gets the suit back on this far in. He put it on last week, but he's got it on again this week, and things are building up with Fisk's task force. I like the way the season's going. You do have to wait a little bit, but it's been entertaining for me. I don't have a problem with the series. And lastly, we did check out Minecraft, the Minecraft movie, this week. The boys wanted to see it because they are big Minecraft fans, and they liked it. They liked it. Jake is older now, and he's kind of felt the same way I did. Jack Black is Jack Black, and Jason Momoa kind of plays like this 80s arcadist that won a championship and just never let his identity go, and is kind of like running fumes off of his old self. But yeah, they all get sucked into this Minecraft world, and it's crazy the way that they describe the plot, because it's kind of like, imagine if Star Wars started, the original Star Wars started, and they're like, okay, so this is what happened with the Jedi Order, and then now Luke, he's over here on trying to destroy the Death Star because this is what happened here, and then boom, they just put you in the middle of the action, and it's like, they just narrate. They narrate the shit out of the exposition to move the story along. So it's like, I was like, well, maybe they've just got a lot to cover, but it's annoying, that you can't just let the story flush out naturally. So you've got a lot of that.
Flush out an ass description.
Yeah. There are some moments. Yeah, and Jack Black, he's entertaining. Jason Momoa is entertaining. But and I will say, thumbs up for putting a Skid Row song in the mix.
Really?
Jason Momoa is like got this Firebird. He's this red Firebird and some Pit Vipers and some variant of a Macho Man Randy Savage jacket on, and he's playing Skid Row, I Remember You Down the Road, and it's funny. His character is fairly entertaining, but I would say hopefully this thing comes out on Peacock or something. Well, it's Universal, isn't it? Is Universal make this film? I forget. I'd have to double check, but hopefully this thing ends up on a streaming platform, to where you don't have to outright rent it or anything like that to catch it.
Don't worry, I won't.
Yeah, the kids, my younger kids, were entertained, but I could have spent my evening a little bit better.
Matt taking the bullet for the team.
I did, man. I did. I had to get the dad points in, get credit for, that quality time, and then lastly, so this started off with a joke. I saw that the Hoff is coming to McAllen, Texas, which is like 5.5 hours away. And so I told my wife, I was like, that's our anniversary weekend. I was like, I'm going to go see the Hoff. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to go see the Hoff. I won't be here. And so she told my mom, she's like, your son wants to get divorced. And so all of this has built into
So you're
now.
getting divorced?
No, yeah. My mother-in-law offered to watch the kids so that we can go to McAllen as a little anniversary trip.
Dude, best tacos in Texas.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I started Googling some stuff up, and they've got nothing but like badass places to eat out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do they nickname it? The something triangle?
I know
Brownsville, McAllen, and because the large Hispanic community.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is it Edinburgh,
best tacos.
maybe? But yeah, dude. A lot of them call it RGV now, the Rio Grande Valley, just the valley.
Oh yeah. That's what it's called. Yeah. The valley. Yeah.
And I was trying to look at more stuff to do over there, and Mark, I know you're kind of close to something that similar to happen to this. Reynosa, Mexico is right there. The bridge is right there. And I was like, maybe we just go into Mexico for a few hours or something. And
I wouldn't risk it.
And I Googled it. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has Reynosa, Mexico as the highest risk for Americans because there's a lot of kidnapping, abductions, and murders that happen in the morning.
Let's not do
in
that.
the evening.
Committed by ICE?
No, not committed. They ain't taking anybody from there. I tell you, they're putting them back. They're not taking anybody from.
Right. Yeah.
And it sucks because my family.
Yeah, I wouldn't go just because
past there.
The risk of not being able to come back in or whatever.
Not being alive anymore. Yeah, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
I'm already risking enough to see the Hoff. I've already put my, I rolled the dice on that. But yeah, Fluffy's going to be there too.
I will say this in a nice way because I love you like a brother. But you're fucking stupid for driving that far to see whatever the fuck his name is.
Whoa,
David Hasselhoff.
Don't
hassle the Hoff, dude. Don't hassle the Hoff. He is a treasure. Okay.
And you better lick Jackie's goddamn.
It's so weird that you. It's so weird, but like me and Mark, we grew up with David Hasselhoff, and we don't give two shits about him.
Not two shits.
Yeah, like when he left Knight Rider, that was the end of it for us.
That was the end of it.
Yeah, and that was like we were like both probably 5 or 6 years old.
And the whole viral video of the hamburger thing, I was like, dude, what is this disgusting dude?
Matt's going down there to film a drunken Hasselhoff eating tacos.
He's gonna eat tacos this time. He's gonna eat tacos off the floor.
And he makes that Piranha movie where,
he is the greatest lifeguard that ever lived. He saved Bikini Bottom. And he had a damn talking car, damn it.
He'll always be the Knight Rider to me.
Yes.
So,
what kind of dirt do you have on Jackie that she's allowing you to do this? I swear.
I think she just wanted to get out, and we
try something different.
Try something different. Yeah.
Make it a taco tour and just try out all the different.
She makes you pay her back so hard for this.
It'll be a taco tour.
Oh,
baby.
she's gonna feed Matt the fish tacos.
She better cash in on this favor.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the food either.
There we go.
She's gonna feed Matt the fish tacos.
the
and I don't mean the fish.
And I don't mean the fish. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
What about my one more this?
Long, what do you got, baby? What do you got this week?
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Except for I did start watching Daredevil, the first 2 episodes. Really good.
There we go.
I don't remember if I saw the third. Oh, yeah, I think I saw the third episode where it ended up with him defending himself against the corrupt cops. So that's where I left off. So I'm about to hit episode 4 tomorrow. So
I need to get on that show. I just keep forgetting. I kind of forget about Disney Plus sometimes. I don't know why. Joking about canceling subscriptions pre-show. I'm like, sometimes like I don't even watch Disney, but yeah.
Did you ever finish Andor?
Yeah, I'm waiting for season 2 to start in a few weeks.
Yeah, okay.
I never did. I need to finish it.
Oh, dude, you gotta. It's It's so good.
The last 3 episodes are good. The first 5 are kind of eh.
No, the first 5 are good. Mark's
So-
not used to,
Star Wars shouldn't be a
world
slow
building.
burn.
No, it's good. It's really good. If you have the patience for it, it'll reward you.
From the looks of the trailer, though, it looks like they upped the action in season 2. So
That's
But
that's
anyway,
encouraging.
all right. Well, let's get today's featured film, and this is already been a wild episode of the podcast, and it's fixing a little bit more wild as we discuss an anime from the.
Not to mention, I did watch the Switch 2 announcement, which is interesting.
No.
Prices were announced, and then the tariff news hits. It's like, oh, never mind. We have to reevaluate the pricing. So, anyways, yeah.
But yeah, man. So this movie, it's hard to say from the director of Ninja Scroll, since Ninja Scroll came out after this film. So is it Ninja Scroll from the director of this film?
Yes.
But as you know, we've covered Ninja Scroll, and if you've ever seen it, it's quite a spectacular anime with lots of violence and sex. And this movie does not stray from that at all. In fact, it's probably even more sex in this than Ninja Scroll was.
Dude, a lot more.
Maybe not more violence, but definitely more sex. And it's a film called Wicked City. This movie, Long, you summarize this one.
No, I don't. I'm here to fact check.
Fuck, man. I watched it almost a week ago. Yeah, but we're already 41 minutes in, man. Don't take 20 minutes to summarize.
No, I won't.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it. It's okay.
I did watch it, but it was like a week ago.
The synopsis of the film is basically there's going to be a peace treaty that's about to expire between the demon world and the human world. And one human blackguard, which is the name of the force that enforces the peace treaty.
Police type thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Police type thing. The blackguard, a human blackguard, and a demon blackguard are partnered up to protect a diplomat from the demon world, and basically try to protect him to keep the peace before the peace negotiation happens. And then a couple of twists and turns and sexual violence here and there, involving
Tentacles.
No, involving with wombs with teeth.
Oh yeah, that was scary, dude.
Wombs with teeth. Was Jackie watching this, by the way?
She was. I had her watch it. She was like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering. I was kind of curious. Wombs with teeth. There's probably really just one tentacle scene.
Yeah, just the parasite. Yeah.
Yeah. And then gang rape scene, and a nice little love scene.
And then the woman whose torso turns into a vagina, and she's like, "Come into me, Taki." And then he's just like, "No, I'm just gonna blow a fucking cannon-sized hole through you instead."
Yeah. Oh, that gun that he wields is like one of the most iconic weapons in anime history.
Dude, that's a badass revolver.
That and Kaneda's red bike.
Yeah.
In Akira. But anyways, this movie came out in 1993, and Ninja Scroll came out in 95, 2 years later. So, but
in the U.S.
Yeah.
I
thought I've forgotten how much.
Originally, this was 87 in Japan.
Yeah, it took a while to get over here.
Yeah. The violence is one thing for sure, but I've forgotten how much sexual violence is there in this film.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, the plot. I don't know if the plot needed all that or not, but it's still a really good plot. Nice little twist in the middle of the film. But yeah, I mean, they ended up preserving the peace by becoming the first human demon couple to hook up. So
and make a child.
Yeah. There was a Hong Kong film that was made based on this film. A few years later, I never watched it. It wasn't as graphically,
Yeah, it wasn't as graphically
sexually
intense.
graphic, at all. It was
And
just more about the action.
yeah,
What else?
and then I read even there was talks of a anime remake, but it never took off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
the director of this film did Wicked City as his director feature, and then Ninja Scroll, and then Vampire Hunter D Bloodlines. And then he never made a film since early 2000s because he spent a lot of that time running his own animation studio and also cultivating young talent. So he's been in the industry since then, but as a mentor or producer role since then. So, but yeah, it's definitely an iconic movie in 90s anime and anime history because there's some iconography, from the gun for one, and the action, and yeah.
Yeah, this film, I think the first time I saw this was, probably years ago. I remember renting this from, I don't know if it's Blockbuster or my comic book store or something. And like you said, it took a few years for this came over to America because it kind of came over during the brief mid 90s anime craze when Ghost in the Shell and Akira had theatrical releases, and anime was starting to get some follow through Dragon Ball Z and things like that in America. So you were starting to get some imported stuff. And I think at some point in my high school years, I rented this, but I don't retain it. And then I rewatched this maybe just a couple years ago. And I was like, and I kind of forgot how much sex was in it and how much violence but one thing I do think is like Long said, the plot is pretty cool, and that's why this is a really cool kind of concept, the whole idea of like the secret blackguard guarding the demon world. It's almost like and definitely it does borrow from some ideas. John Constantine's been protecting us from the demon world in DC Comics for years, so that concept's not new, but the way this is presented is almost like a science fiction neo-noir type presentation. Brief, kind of somewhat narrated through the lead blackguard's voiceover. And his ongoings, and the way that the scenes are cut and edited together, it gives it that neo-noir vibe. I like the animation style, which is almost it's definitely your classic anime, but almost like a living comic book type feel to it, with the shading and the way it's shot. I think some really cool stuff on it. And I think that helps all the heavy sexual violence and sexual things that go on not be quite as intimidating. Is that the right word? Because it does tell a good story around it. Because this movie could have easily been just like showered in just violent sex and then taken away from what was a cool plot. If I'm making any sense there.
Well, yeah, and it could have gone that way. And originally, this was supposed to be a 35-minute mini movie, and they were going to air it. But once the director got a hold of the script, there was just no way they could do that, and it had to be extended to 82 minutes. And yeah, based on the novel, there was just too much information to pack into this film. But yeah, they do a really good job of setting out the plot, establishing who the radicals are, and the animation. Yeah, you do get a couple loops here and there, but I mean the animation from Taki's
for 1987, yeah.
Oh, dude, whenever he goes to rescue Makie, and he's just blasting those guys, blowing the rapist's head off one by one.
That was pretty gratifying, yeah.
It was crazy. Is there's an edited version of this film that's only like an hour and 5 minutes long. Yeah,
really.
Yeah, apparently I couldn't find a lot of information about it, but apparently there is an edited version of this film that aired like on television. Isn't that wild? Yeah.
That is, I don't know
And
how
apparently,
you
it's
cut out a
aired in
lot.
the U.S. on the Sci-Fi Network like one time.
And I just like to make a comment that Makia has a very poor choice in boyfriends.
Dude, for real, man. She was like 2 for 2 bad
2 for
boyfriends.
2, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the only 2 that we saw. You know, who knows if there was another.
Like, bro,
You know,
Now,
like,
man, let's not slut shame people now.
she's like the
this is
vintage
true.
Ramona Flowers, 7 evil exes.
Ramona Flowers. But yeah, man, and the romance factor, that K-pop song that comes on after,
J-pop.
J-pop song, sorry, that comes on after,
This is why I'm here, to make sure you don't say something
yes,
wrong.
this is why we need you, Long. This is why we need you. This is why we play the game, baby.
J-pop.
And it's like the night is in, and the lights are shining on the road, and the car is going around this winding road, and you could tell that she appreciates his sacrifice for her.
It's a good romance.
Her
Actually,
sacrifice
it
for
was a well
him.
done romance.
Yeah, and then you've got the comic relief, the old man,
The dirty old man.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He was somewhat immortalish. He might have lived over 100 years.
Mayart, that's his name.
Mayart. Yep, Giuseppe Mayart. And he's like, actually, I'm protecting you. This is all backwards. It's like, you guys are supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the other old man in Ninja Scroll was like, hey, I'm trying to make sure you guys do it. So there's always an old man in these films. They're trying to make sure that the protagonist female and the protagonist male get it on, even though they're different. Kind of like, Captain Kirk would do it with another species. He'd be all gun-ho about it. Because space is meant to be explored, even if it's the dark world.
Okay, Matt, you're giving yourself too much rope there.
I am. I did. I took a lot of slack.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this film. This was a first watch for me.
What did Jackie think of it?
She liked it too. At first, she watched it and she was laying down. She fell asleep towards the end, but we restarted it, and she thought the demon was at the beginning was just like, whoa, you had the crotch with teeth, and she's like, oh man, he jumped away quick, he jumped away quick on that one, avoided that. I wonder if that would have gone down as a workplace injury, but maybe not. But yeah, and it's crazy that she did that just to get his DNA, because she had to make sure that he was like compatible. That was the one they were going to use, so they knew to target him and kill him. But yeah, man, she liked the film. She enjoyed it. She also enjoyed Ninja Scroll. I did watch Demon City, but I kind of it was late. I was smoking a brisket that night, and I fell asleep watching it, so I didn't retain it very well. I'll have to watch it.
Now you guys have to watch Vampire Hunter D Bloodlines. That's a really good movie.
Yeah.
That's the director's best movie, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's better than Ninja Scroll too.
Better than Ninja Scroll?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Not in like historical significance, but overall story, character, action, pacing. So
okay.
In both of it was for these two films, and Ninja Scroll and Wicked City. It does seem like the sex seems a little bit out of place in both of them, especially in Ninja Scroll. This one a little more so, but I guess the Mayart, he alludes to how the blackguards are. That's the name of the demon world, right? They are very sexual beings, and they're really obsessed with it. And I guess the plot could have played on that a little bit more. That might be my only beef with it, because there's like all this.
Played enough.
It does play enough.
Yeah.
But and it's there's been talks for years about them making a live action version of this. With but part of that is these U.S. studios buying up anime rights and stuff. But there's no way you could really make this in live action and do all the sexual content of it. It would probably be dumbed down if it ever was. They'd make it more of just an action film. But I think it needs to stay as an anime. Now I think an anime remake would be interesting, with modern animation stuff. But again, it doesn't need to be made. But I think I do like Ninja Scroll a little better than this film. But I think this film has some really cool concepts, and I think it holds up remarkably well for me in 1987. Good voice work. I think that's not talked about enough sometimes.
Oh, good dubbing.
Good dubbing, good voice work. In this, I think well done. The voices fit the characters, and I think that's not said enough for this film. But it is a cool movie. It's iconic. I think it's worth a watch if you're an anime fan. I was talking to shout out to him, Charlie at work. We talk anime sometimes, and he's been listening to the podcast, and he was asking me, he goes, man, I look forward to the Wicked City one. I go, oh, it's not out yet. And he goes, I go, yeah, we're recording this weekend. So, he'll get to hear it. And so we were talking about this movie, and he thought this is a cool film too. Definitely kind of I think maybe by today's standards, a deep cut, maybe not people that grew up watching anime, but I think nowadays with the advent of Crunchyroll and Cartoon Network and Toonami and all the things like that, people may have not heard about this film, because they're so stuck on the stuff that they're spoon-fed nowadays, which is, I think, not a knock on anime fans or anything at all. That's just the different times we live in.
No, I think nowadays anime fans are paralyzed by choice because there's so much out there. When you and I were growing up, all we had was like whatever the Blockbuster shelf had, so it was tough. It was so tough to find new content to watch unless it's on cable, whatever they decide to show on Toonami as well. But I personally, it was harder for me because I didn't have cable, so only local video stores that would carry it.
Right. No, that's very fair.
Yeah, and it was an expensive hobby. A very expensive hobby. So for a while,
almost impossible to own it, unless you import it in or somehow,
on VHS, especially before DVDs. Where like DVDs could hold more episodes, and VHS could only do 4 episodes. And you're talking about $30 a pop. $30 back then was a lot. So and then thank God for Netflix 1.0 with the home rental thing. They had a huge library of anime on DVDs. That's what helped made it more easy. And then fucking what else? Yeah, and then streaming in the 2010s.
Right. Well, even now.
Yeah.
Like, I watched this on Prime, and so Prime, once you watch something, it changes your algorithms. And now all of a sudden I'm getting suggested all kinds of anime that I didn't know was even on Prime. I didn't realize how big of a library they have. Because you don't see it unless your algorithms are, hitting that stuff. So I was already looking. There's some stuff in there I want to watch. Some of it I've seen before, and some of it,
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of Retro Crush?
Mm-mm.
It's a streaming site that has all the old school classic anime on there. So retrocrush.com. You'll see Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, City Hunter anime show, and
Street Fighter 2. We covered that. That's
Devil Man.
Street Fighter 2, the anime movie, is actually really good.
Yeah.
And,
Revolutionary Girl Utena. A whole bunch of Japanese pink films. Yeah. Which is a softcore film.
Right.
Softcore.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time period when Japanese television dominated entertainment in Japan, and the movie industry in Japan was just on life support, and the only thing they could do was release like softcore porn in theaters to survive.
Hey, you do what you do to make a buck.
$20 is $20.
And then before we close out this, we'd be remiss if we did not mention, in tribute to our good friend of the show, Rob, as we had a long-running joke about tentacle porn, that this film has a tentacle porn scene in it.
Yes.
Got to mention that and
It
get
sure
humor.
does.
And it's straight up tentacle porn.
Yeah.
As as you know.
But
and
it's diet tentacle porn. It's only goes,
is
in
it
her
diet
throat.
though? It still feels pretty.
Yeah.
It doesn't show the penetration, so
Right.
just merely
But it's
suggested.
there.
Yeah, just the motion.
Yeah.
So I gotta give that shout out to Rob. But Wicked City, man, it's on Prime and Tubi. Plenty of places to watch this if you've never seen it. Looking for a classic anime to watch, it's worth checking out. If you are into sexual violence and a cool anime,
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
We do not promote sexual violence, by the way.
No,
yeah. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
But I think it's a cool film. It's definitely worth the watch. Yeah, man. So we're gonna not switch gears so much next week with next week's episode, as we are going to you get lots of ninjas and anime films and things like that. We're going to do a film that I don't know if people have, this is kind of a cult status film. Some people have seen it, some people haven't. You can find this on Prime as well and Tubi, and it stars Scott Adkins, who he's one of those actors that his career just never, it felt like he was kind of being pushed to be like that next new action star, maybe the next Keanu Reeves or the next up and coming, but he never got that role that took him off. Well,
yeah,
and maybe some of that's because he's not a great actor, but I do feel he has charisma. He just never felt like he fell right into that role.
I haven't even never heard of him until
never
now.
Heard of Scott Adkins, really? Yeah, I bet if you looked up his IMDb page, you've probably seen a few things he's in.
Yeah.
But
John Wick 4, most notably.
Oh, that's right. It was in John Wick 4. Yeah.
Yep.
And but so we're going to cover. But he's unrecognizable in John Wick 4.
He's in the fat suit.
Yeah, he's in the fat suit. He plays the guy at the table at the car dealer.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can't recognize him.
Oh, the guy with the metal teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Scott Adkins.
Oh,
but you can't recognize him in that role.
I don't even know who he is.
Right. So you even know.
Yeah.
But so we're going to do a Scott Adkins film next week, and this is a movie called simply Ninja. Cool action film, kind of a simple plot, but a fun movie nonetheless. Definitely a cult classic. In the vein of movies we've done like Gods of Egypt, etc. Just kind of fun action films go under the radar people may have not seen, and should be a fun one to talk about next week on this show. And until then, the RebelRadioPodcast.com for all your Rebel Radio needs as always, and continue to be safe out there. We thank you for listening. This has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is Long.
Until next time, remember as always, just go there and do it. With tentacles.